Well, hello, English 1A students. Today we're going to review MLA form. You're in the middle of writing your research papers, and so I want to make sure that you're comfortable and familiar with documenting in-text citations and your works cited list. So these are just a few questions and answers for MLA documentation. Let's just start then. MLA documentation. Explain how any citation in MLA form is made up of two parts. Do not just name the two parts. So the idea is that documenting in MLA form involves citing the source in the text and also having the source listed in the works cited list or bibliography at the end of the text of your essay. And the reason that you need both is that the in-text citation tells exactly how a little bit of information was used from the source, and the works cited listing gives more complete information about the source, so that should the reader want to consult it, that would be possible, and it just gives enough information that the source is made authoritative or accessible. This is the second question. It says, imagine that you are using a book by Al Jones and that you're going to quote from page 15. Make up a sentence that Jones wrote and write it as you would quote it in your paper. Do it in two ways, one in which you mention Jones in the text of your sentence, and in one in which you use only a parenthetical citation. The purpose of this question is that you see that you have to mention the author, and usually you want to mention the author in a sentence like this. According to Al Jones, quote, African elephants are endangered. And then the 15 is in the parentheses just to give the page number. In some cases, you might want to just not mention the author in your sentence, but you still need to cite the author. So this is the exact same sentence, but the parenthetical citation says Jones 15, and therefore accomplishes the same goal. This next question, how accurate should quotations be? Why? Explain two conditions in which you may change a quote. The answer to that being quotation should be 100% accurate, but they can be changed if it's done in ways that are conventional and recognized and did not alter what the authors meant. Doesn't change the author's intention. An example would be to use brackets to add a word. For example, here, Dickens was a great English novelist. If the original had just said he, the writer might want to put in Dickens to make it clear. This could be a longer sentence. He was a good husband, and he was a great father. The ellipsis marks indicate that there were words left out. Again, can't change the meaning though. What is a block quote? Why and how is it used? A block quote is a long quotation, more than 4 lines. You set it up without quotation marks, but it's a 1/2 inch hanging indent from the left margin so that it stands out from the rest of the paper to help the reader see where the quote begins and ends. I will post a couple of examples of block quotations so you can see that as well as know it. Explain why using quotation very much is generally not a good way to write a research paper, and generally and very much are obviously vague terms, but the answer is it's just common sense. The more writers use quotes, the less they can develop their own ideas in their own words. But of course, appropriate and effective use of quotation is essential to research writing. Under what conditions can you use information from a source without citing the source? The answer to that is just if the source is common knowledge, which would be information that would be the same in all reliable sources, like scientific or historical facts. If it's really common knowledge, it does not need to be cited. There are sometimes questions. If there are questions, cite the source. Explains that ways that you can avoid unintentional plagiarism when using material from sources. Distinguish unintentional from intentional plagiarism. And I would say be careful with notes and quotations. Summarize from memory, not looking at the source, and avoid close paraphrase. For unintentional plagiarism, the writer has been careless. For intentional plagiarism, the writer wants to steal someone else's work.